Hello, my fellow Bereans. I'm so glad to be back with another video. And I think this is going to be something on my channel. There's this place for like a channel trailer, an introduction to the channel. So I think that's what I'm going to use this for. The reason I'm doing it is because I've noticed a lot of times when I'm doing a video, I'm making statements like my prayer Bible or my travel Bible or my old Bible and my new Bible or my war binder. And if you're new to the channel, you might think, how am I going to figure all this out? So I thought I'd do one video today just showing an overview of the Bibles that I'm using and also kind of my thoughts on where I'm going with this channel. So then you can see if they line up with you. You'll notice from the videos that I do that a big thing that I do is create inserts for my Bible. They could be maps and charts and genealogies, and they could also be like a list of scriptures organized to get across a certain point or to show somebody the truth of what's in the Bible. And so that's kind of the desire for this channel, knowing that God has told us that there is a time in the end, and we don't know when that is. That could be in 20 years. All I know is that for me, I feel a passion to get ready for that time when we don't have the internet, so that if someone has questions, then I'm prepared to find them the answer without being able to do a Google search. And right now we're so blessed to have that, so we can look up all of our answers. And so this is me going through that myself and then sharing that journey with all of you, with anybody that's interested in the same type of thing. And so I just want to kind of give an overview of the Bibles that I'm using. Actually, the very first video that I put on my channel was just like this, but things have kind of changed because I've added a few Bibles to my collection and things just ended up tweaking the way that I'm using my Bible. So I thought this would be a good thing, just create a channel trailer and go ahead and show you what I'm using for Bibles and how I'm using them. And something that I hear people say on their channels, and it always makes me laugh, but I'm going to go ahead and say it anyways. As a believer, you do not need all of these Bibles. You can do it with one Bible. The reason that makes me kind of laugh is because when people say that in their videos, I always think, who does she think she is? That I would buy something just because he told me to. Well, I might not agree with that person and not think it's important. So that's why it makes me laugh. But doing a video like this, I can understand now why they say it, because I just want to make sure that nobody feels this pressure. Like, I need to have 5 Bibles in my collection. I can't do it all with just one, and you really can do it all with just one Bible, and you can use a notebook, and you don't have to do it the way I'm doing it. So I feel like that's obvious, but you know, there's just that pressure inside to say that, so I've gone ahead and said it. What's happened for me is I would start feeling like I needed something for a certain purpose, like a travel Bible, because I realized that my normal note-taking Bible was too big to always know that I was going to be carrying it around with me. So I thought I want a travel Bible, and so Christmas was coming up or a birthday, and so I decided that's what I really wanted for that. So I didn't kind of just buy all of these Bibles at once. It's just such a hobby for me, I guess you could say. So instead of buying like sports equipment or whatever else somebody might want, this is what I end up saying, this is what I'd like for my birthday. And so it's actually something that my husband, I think, gets a little irritated about it, because why does somebody need that many Bibles? So it's kind of funny. But I figure since I get to choose something anyways, I might as well get the thing I really want. So that's what I do. So again, you can just use one Bible, but it's just something I enjoy using and working with, and just really tunneling down into specifically how I want to use my Bibles and for what purpose. So that's how this kind of all evolved. And now let's go ahead and take a look at these Bibles. So the reason I started this channel is because I really love taking Bible notes. It's kind of my hobby, my passion. I just really enjoy it. It was back in 2019, I went through a series of studies. It's like this whole new world of the Bible opened up for me, because I'd always found it confusing. It was like everything had to be read through these goggles of 2 separate gods. There was like this Old Testament God full of wrath, and then there was this New Testament God with Jesus, and the whole way that he saved us was separate. That's what it felt like to me. And then I went through those studies and I realized it's the same God. He has the same way of saving people. There was just a way of looking forward to Christ, and now at our time in history, we're looking back. And there's so much in the New Testament that is actually just a restating or the exact same words of the Old Testament. It's one beautiful interwoven blanket. So anyways, when I went through those studies, I ended up getting myself a Bible. Actually, I should go ahead and show it. So it's the KJV Journal the Word Bible, large print, Thomas Nelson. And I like it because there's a little bit of space in between each line. If I could contact Thomas Nelson in a way that they would actually listen to me, I would keep this Bible the same thickness. I would make it be a taller Bible, so then the lines could be even stretched out a little bit more. And to me, that would be a perfect Bible because you could write what words mean in it, because like here, I'm seeing that I wrote ring straked means streaked, and then grizzled means gray spotted. So anyways, as I'm going through, I'm writing words down, and then I have a color coding system, and I'm underlining, and sometimes there's more than one underline that happens depending on the meaning. So I would just like that. But other than that, this has been a great Bible for me. It's funny because as I'm flipping through, I'm going to sections in my Bible where there's not much written. And so let me go through as I've been learning all of this truth of the Bible and how much the Old Testament connects to the New Testament, and especially the book of Revelation. If you want to understand the book of Revelation, you have to understand the Old Testament, is what I've discovered. And it actually, you see tie-ins from the Old Testament to the New Testament, and it's just, it blows my mind. But anyways, this Bible became so packed with notes in certain places, and they were important notes to me. I had this desire to organize my notes and to type them up. And so on my channel, as I'm doing that, I'm sharing those with anybody who asks. Well, just as a side note, this was a printer issue that I was having where it was striping things, and I bought a new printer. But so this was the original one, and I had notes down here, and then I had one on this side with a few notes here. So anyways, everything's kind of just packed in there, and there were important details that I didn't want to forget. And I just want to enjoy this process of going through and organizing notes and making it very usable. And so what I did was I bought a new Bible just like it, but they're having supply issues. My guess is because of the pandemic. So the page is not quite the same, the coloring. But so like on this insert here, I reprinted it, and these notes I typed up. And so then this is the other side, and I added notes into here, little text boxes. So that's how I'm doing it. But notice I haven't started writing any of my notes. I'm just slowly going through the process of organizing notes to put in here. And so on my channel, you'll find videos where I've done that. I do have a color code system. And as I've gone through these past few years, I've really firmed up my color code system so that now it's there and it's here, and I can look through and really color code. And so here are all the symbols that I found, and a lot of these, like I just did one on my channel about to stand, because I hadn't in the past realized how deep of a meaning that has. Like I just thought it meant like to stand firm, but it's very biblical about the end times and these people that are going to stand. And so when I looked at them all, I just created an insert, and I can show that. And I know I just did this video, but for future audiences, I'll go ahead and show. So I took notes that I had scribbled up and I added them to a typed up note, organized. And so my channel has just been taking people along for that journey, and I give my inserts away for free. So any of the maps or charts or inserts, once you watch the video, if you're interested in that insert, let me know and I'll send it to you. So that's this. So this Bible is just a desire to organize. But then I have to say I was playing with this idea of only having organized notes in there, but I'm realizing I'm liking my original Bible less and less because it's so hard to fit things in. So my desire is actually to have this Bible completely set up, and then this is going to become my new notebook where I'm just scribbling in notes wherever I can. So my desire is to have a Bible that I can just take notes into. I take my Bible with me to church. Before church, I go to 2 different Bible studies, and then we have our church service. And then on Wednesday night, there's another Bible study, and we're going through Genesis. And I'm learning so much, so I want this Bible here, and I'm just scribbling in notes, and I'm learning a lot, and so I'm so thankful to have this. So that's this Bible. So in my Bibles, if I say my old Bible or my note-taking Bible, I'm typically talking about this one. And then if I talk about my new Bible, then I'm talking about this one, just so you know. That's kind of just what keeps popping out of my mouth is my old Bible and my new Bible. And these are just to take notes in to get factual information in there. And then this is a Bible that I purchased, and I kind of regret it. I wanted something that looked different than my note-taking Bibles. So I bought this one, but it's already starting to come apart, and I rarely use this. So this Bible, when I bought it, I thought I was going to do a prayer Bible with it, but it's turned into just a place where I can take notes. But these are different kinds of notes. In here, I only want to write information that taught me something. And it's amazing how much I can be so impacted by something, but then now a couple years later, I read my note and I don't even remember writing that notes, and I'm just amazed by this detail that I've learned. So I'm always writing things, even if I think I'm never going to forget that. If I've learned something new, I write it in here for information. But then sometimes things are so overwhelming and I'm so amazed by what I just learned. There's that feeling of wanting to gush about it. So that's the purpose of this Bible, is to gush about whatever I've learned and kind of that feeling part of it, maybe like a life application Bible. And in this one, I date it, and it's not like intellectual information, it's more about the heart, which is really important to your Christian life. It's just I wanted them separate. So this is packed with information that I can give people, which might include something about the heart, of course. But this is just more of this personal relationship with God. So that's what this Bible is about. I don't recommend getting this Bible. And maybe some birthday, I'll get myself a Bible that has room for notes. I just want something that looks different than my note-taking Bible, because I don't want to grab it accidentally for church. I want this just to stay home. This is just a place to pour out my heart. And I know people use notebooks, but I wanted something next to the Word of God, so it's connected, because that's what's impacting me. Although I can write other kind of notes down, it just depends. But so far, it's just been reacting to the Word. Now, I mentioned that this was going to be like a prayer Bible. This was the fruits of the Spirit. What I ended up was I had this travel Bible, and the thing about this Bible is that the lettering is very tiny and my eyes can still see it, but it's a little bit of a struggle. It just became, I'm not sure why, because the plan was to have this be my prayer Bible, and that would have made sense to have the prayers next to it, but for some reason this just became my prayer Bible. And maybe it's because I don't like this Bible as much. I know that it's falling apart. So this one is another Thomas Nelson Bible. They just do a good job of putting their Bibles together. And so I do have a playlist on these and the tabs, and I like this because I had tried having a separate like little notebook binder, and I would print off Bible verses and tape them into this notebook and write, and I just ended up liking this better. But there is a playlist on this. So this is my prayer Bible. So when I had originally bought this, though, this was going to be my travel Bible. And it's funny because this is so small and compact. Personally, I think that would have been a nice thing to keep it with this Bible as a travel Bible because it is so small. But I ended up buying this Bible, and it's the same one as this one. It's just the large print, personal size. It's only a 1-inch binding, but the lettering is possibly bigger than this one. It's got a taller page, but it's so thin and it's so much lighter than this Bible. So this is becoming my travel Bible. And so the purpose for having a travel Bible is to be prepared to give an answer. That's what I feel like. So no matter where you are, you have something with you. We have a little share table at our church, and someone actually put this one down. And so I'm thinking about making inserts even for this little Bible, because this is even smaller, and maybe it's something that would just stay in my car, or maybe it's something that would stay at work, and it, create little inserts for this Bible. So this is going to be a Bible where if I'm out somewhere and someone comes up to me and they realize that I'm a Christian for whatever reason, says, that God, he's horrible. He went in and wiped out all those people. How can you believe in somebody like that? And so I'm ready with this page. It shows that these people were actually burning their children in the fire. They were sacrificing them. So it's all the verses on that. And I have a video on this insert. So I want this Bible to be ready to answer all of those questions. And it's actually going to be about the state of the dead. Is there a hell where people are burning eternally? When does Christ come back? Is it a pre-trib rapture? Is it a post-trib rapture? What does the end times look like? Who is the Antichrist? And it's not man's word. It's not going to be a commentary. It's actually taking us through all the verses that are on that subject. So that's what this Bible is about. So if spur of the moment things come up, then I'm prepared with a little Bible, and I'm trying to find like a little tiny backpack purse that it will fit in, that I can just always have with me. So it is still going to add a little bit of weight to a bag, but it's just not as much as this big one. So as I'm talking about these inserts, I also have my husband's Bible here. And so what I'm going to be doing is creating inserts for all 3 Bibles, so you can see the difference. And I'll be posting that so people will have pretty much 3 different sizes to choose from. So because of the larger size, it might get laid out better in this one as far as what you can put together. And so that's going to be coming on the channel. So this is my husband's Bible. So this Bible is wider and taller, so there's going to be a way to organize information even better in this Bible. So as I do it, I'll make it available on my channel. So this is just, he wants to be able to show people the same information like at work, like who is the Antichrist, who is the beast of the sea, who is the beast of the earth, when does the rapture happen? So he'll have that for him. So as I mentioned in here, wanting to be ready to take people through the scripture at a moment's notice, there are times when you have gotten into a conversation with somebody and they actually want to sit down and do an official study. So I created a Bible for that. So I decided for one of my birthdays to get a Bible to actually set up for doing Bible studies with somebody. And that is because when I'm giving a Bible study, I know what the purpose is. Maybe I'm going to be going over who the Antichrist is, or what is the mark of the beast. So I'm not going to need all of this information, and that can get confusing. Like here I'll show, I actually had set this Bible up. This is my original study Bible, and I'd set it up with the code of the study, like this is State of the Dead, and where the verse is. So I would take the person to like verses 1 through 3, and then we go to verse 4, and then we go to 2 Corinthians 11, verses 13 through 15. So that's in here, but it's crammed in, but it's also taking room away from where I could have notes there. Now I've got this information on doing a study. And so my thinking now is that I'm going to create those inserts with the studies on them in this Bible. So if it comes up while I only have this Bible, I'm always prepared to be able to take somebody through the subject. And actually I'm going to interrupt my thinking to just say, that's the purpose of these. So like these green are State of the Dead. These blue ones have to do with the seal of God, the mark of the beast. This has to do with Christ's second coming. So each thing has a purpose. Like the orange is the Antichrist system, Satan. I put them all in one line and they're not all in there. It's just what I've done so far. So there's probably going to be actually more columns, but I hadn't finished this and now I have my new Bible, so I'm going to be doing that in this one. I haven't even started it, but I wanted something that was a little bit more at peace as far as if I know I'm just going to give somebody a Bible study, I don't need all those extra notes. I'll probably always have my Bible that I study out of with me in case a random question comes up. I have my notes and I'm prepared for that. But this, when you're doing a study with somebody, this is so much more at peace. You see that one place. Sometimes it gets really packed. Like this is the study on the great controversy, why Satan fell. So as you can see, as I get over here, it can get confusing even here. I was trying to pack it into one area, and now I kind of wish I thought about inserts and really organizing my notes so I improve on this system. But now all of this is taking somebody through that concept. So we're sticking just with Bible. I don't want to bring in a lot of, well, man said this and so said this. I want the Bible to speak for itself. And so I have all of these, the origin of the great controversy. This is about the millennium, and this is part of that study on hell. This is what was nailed to the cross, and this I have something that I'll probably turn into an insert based on that same origin of the great controversy. So I'm not finished with doing this. It's a work in progress, and I just want to take all of you along for that journey. So as I mentioned, in this Bible, on this little side area is just going to be taking somebody from one verse to another, but it's probably going to be very simplified. And as I create the inserts, I'm going to have it more organized. So it's going to be a very small study to do with somebody on the fly. And this will be more in depth is what I'm thinking. So that's this Bible. And I want to talk about one last Bible, and that is this Bible. It's an Academy Study Bible. So these pages are really thin and there's just a little bit of margin space the way they are in typical Bibles. It's nice because it does have maps. It has like this about the statue and the date, so a little bit of information, some commentary at the bottom. And then I want to zoom in to show you something that's the reason why I bought this Bible. So underneath every single word, there's a number. So that's the dictionary number. So what the word is, like this is the Old Testament, so this is the Hebrew. And I'll show you an example of that. And then there's the Greek dictionary. And so like this is the Greek dictionary. And so you see the Hebrew word and then all of the meanings to it. So I love having this. The reason I wanted this Bible so much is that I know in the end times, we won't be able to buy and sell. So we're going to need to be able to have this information at our fingertips. And so this was my way, but right now where we have internet, it's so much easier just to type it in. So I really don't even use this Bible very much because it's so much easier than flipping it back and forth. It's a very large and heavy Bible, but I know I'm going to be very thankful I have it one day. So I also want to mention my journey as I do this. I realized that there was a God back in December of 1996. And so at that time, I had a Bible that a pastor had given me when I went away to college. It was an NIV Bible, and unfortunately I don't still have that Bible, but I would just highlight verses randomly as they stood out to me. There was a little tiny margin on the side, and I would write little notes And I have to say, at that time, I tried to read my Bible. I was very excited to read my Bible. There were certain things that came up in the Bible that really confused me and frustrated me because I would read it. I just didn't know what to do with a lot of the information I was reading. I didn't understand about the order of events, that the Bible, as it stands, the Old Testament, is not historical order. It's in type of book. That's how they order it. So I would try and read the Bible in order, and it didn't make sense because it was all out of order, and it would talk about large events happening, and I would just get frustrated and stop reading. There are a lot of things in the Bible that they would say, oh, these aren't important anymore. So it wasn't until 2019 that I sat down and did a Bible study with somebody, and they took me through the scriptures in such a way, pretty much the way I do on my channel, where there was a certain subject that we studied, like State of the Dead, and instead of throwing in all kinds of man's ideas, looked at those scriptures in an ordered manner so that you could see it and then decide for yourself. So we had started doing studies in April. So that was in 2019. And that experience of discovering God for who he was, discovering so much more than I ever knew. In August, we were rebaptized. It was just such a powerful experience. And it just truly now feels like the Bible is a firm foundation and that it can make sense. So this has been an overview of the Bibles that I've been using, kind of a look at what's coming to the channel, which is more inserts, because that's where I am in my journey right now. And so the one thing with that, the inserts can take a little while to put together. So I was trying to do a video every week, but it might be more like every 10 days or more, and just realize I'm working in the background and that more videos will be coming if that's what you're interested in. So actually I'm currently working on inserts and getting them ready, and then I'm going to be sharing it all with you. And with everything, the inserts are always free. Just send me an email. I'm very thankful to be sharing these with you because I think that we need to get this information out there. We need to be prepared with an answer. If somebody comes to you and says, God is a homicidal maniac, we need to have an answer. And so something that happened on that video was there was somebody who doesn't believe in God or doesn't like God, who God is, and they brought up a lot of other examples, which I think is wonderful because we can then take those questions and make sure that we're prepared for an answer. They were very well thought out questions, and so I want to be prepared with an answer. And some of those questions I am prepared with an answer, but it's hard to do it just typing back and forth. So I want to prepare more videos on those. I want to be ready to answer every question when I'm out there, so it's really wonderful. So I do want to say I welcome questions, and that's what I feel like this channel is all about. We're coming to a time where we aren't going to be able to buy and sell, and we're just going to be relying on what we have prepared. How have we prepared ourselves to answer these questions that people have? So we're going to just keep going on this journey, and I'm so glad to be sharing it with you. I think it's really neat, it's inspiring, and I hope you're doing well, and God bless.